All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to you elect Akiam across the four winds of this earth, kicking this word in sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Sha'ar from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, and I want to do a quick lesson as I'm on my way to work, on the road. Just going into a few things that I was meditating on last night before going to sleep. And as we see things taking place, the men of the Lord are getting ready to be delivered out this thing, man. I mean, we see all the prophecies taking place, and pretty much all we got to do is continue to do the work and endure. Be a brother, be charitable, all right? Whatever the position of charity that you're in, whether it's given to a brother whenever a brother needs it, or whether it's advice or whatever the case is. At the end of the day, man, we're trying to do the best we can and get as many brownie points as we can from Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi so we can receive those new bodies, man. And as we're here, we see things are taking place more. Tribulation is getting more hectic as the days progress. All right, and we understand that it's gonna be more to it as that day approaches. That's why the scriptures say, "Who shall be able to stand in the day of thy coming?" But just going into it, as we see the hell increasing, all right, the brothers are going through more things, whether the hell is demons messing with you in your mind, or just affliction financially. At the end of the day, hell is increasing on all sides. All right, and you see, if you ain't seasoned and rooted enough, within this hell and the affliction that's coming, it's easy for somebody who's not rooted enough to lose faith. Now, there was a point that I was thinking about yesterday, and the point is pretty much Yahawashi invested in you. All right. Now, if we know Yahawashi invested in us, and with that investment being his blood, you have to think of it as Yahawashi invested in me. This is the greatest man to ever walk in the face of this earth. And Yahawashi knows who you are by name. All right. He was willing to make a blood investment for you, so you will be able to withstand when that day comes. You will be able to withstand when Satan's trying to sift you. All right. Demons trying to mess with you, so forth. You read about it in John the 17th chapter, how Yahawashi prayed for us. That whole chapter, when you read it, Yahawashi is praying for us. And he's not praying that we're taken out of the world, but he's praying that we're able to withstand the evils that are being done down here. All right, Yahawashi knew that we was going to catch hell on all sides. He knew that Satan was going to try to mess with you. He knew all these things because why? The same things happened to him. All right, you read it in Isaiah the 53rd chapter. It says Yahawashi was a man that was acquainted with grief. He was a man of sorrows. All right, so hey, just as our master went through these things, we got to go through these things as well. But you got to think of it as Yahawashi invested in you. The greatest man in the existence of history knows you by name, and he had invested in you, man. All right, which Yahawashi is the ultimate businessman. Okay, so he knows that you'll be willing to go through these things. If you're one of his elect, he knows that you'll be willing to go through these things on this side. He knows that you'll be willing to withstand that fire that you go through, man. All right. Even when he spoke to the sons of thunder, to their mother in Matthew the 21st chapter, when their mother asked him if one of them could stand on his right hand and one of them could stand on his left hand, and he replied like, "Hey, it isn't up to me. It isn't up to me for that, but it's up to my Father." And then he asked him the question, pretty much stating, will you be willing to drink of this cup? And that cup pretty much going into the afflictions and the hell that we're going to have to catch being on this side, man. All right. The cup comes with so many things. It comes with the slavery that we're going to have to be part of. All right. It comes with demons messing with you in your mind. It comes with demons attacking you on all sides. All right. Now, with those two men agreeing to it, saying, yes, we will be willing to drink of that cup, he said pretty much, all right, then, well, you're going to have to follow me and go through the things that I'm going to have to go through. All right. But on the contrary end, Yahawashi was girded up with the armor of faith that you read about in Ephesians the 6th chapter, so he would be able to withstand those things that were going to attack him. So brothers, as we agree to drink of this cup, knowing that it's going to be multiple things that we're going to have to go through, on the contrary end, hey, we're girded with the spiritual armor, so we can be able to withstand those things, so we can be more unpenetrable, you know. Salaki, 1 second. So we will be able to withstand through those things, man. All right, so this investment Yahawashi put on us is a golden investment, man. All right, it's a golden investment. Now, when you look up the word investment, give me 1 sec, Baba Kashaw. When you look up the word investment, it says the act of investing or state or of being invested. So we're the ones who are being invested. Yahawashi is the investor and we are the invested. All right. So when you invest in something, you see high potential within that. All right. For example, going into it in a business term. All right. You see high potential in that. All right. You see a little business and you got the money to take over it. And once you actually put your rules and your rules and regulations down on it, and you see that those employees will be able to pretty much carry those rules out, because you see that the business can become fruitful off of that, you're going to want to invest into it because your business is going to grow. All right, it's going to duplicate, it's going to multiply. All right, now you might spend money at that time, but the money that you spend is going to be given back in return. And pretty much Yahawashi, with him putting his blood into us, investing into us, because he sees high potential within us, we're supposed to return that back. And how do we return that back? Within our fruits, within our labors, within our works. All right. Hey, what are we called in the spirit? We're called spiritual hirelings, man. So within us being called those spiritual hirelings, Yahawashi he expects something back in return for us. All right. That's where you get the parable with the man with the talents. Okay, that man with those talents invested those talents to those men. Certain of them he gave 10, certain of them he gave 5, certain of them he gave 1. But what he wants us to do with those talents is he wants us to flip them. All right, he wants us to flip those talents, so when he comes back, he has something that he can work with. Pretty much the stock has been duplicated. All right, you look at it as he invested spiritual stock within his men. All right, another definition of it says, that which anyone is invested in investment. Okay. Now, when you go to the very bottom of it, I found it interesting where it says a mixture of silica or silicone, silica stand, and plaster, which by surrounding a wax pattern creates a mold. It says a negative mold, but really it's just a mold that's created. Creates a mold of the form used by casting among other metals or bronze. Okay. Now you think of it like this, all right? You have pretty much an image of something. For example, you have an image of a human body, right? And it's drawn in the ground and it's cut out. All right, so it's a cut out image of something drawn in the ground or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And a pattern, or it says a plaster, right? You pour that bronze or that metal within that, or that silica or that silicone, whatever the case is. If you pour that into it and you let it sit for a while and you take it out, that mold that's poured into that pattern, it's shaped just like what it wants to be shaped. So you think of it as, us being shaped as Yahawashi, right? Yahawashi invested all this money within us, and what comes out of that is a mirror split image of Yahawashi, man. All right, so Yahawashi is, hey, when you go into business, man, when you go into business and you go into your employees, the people that are under you, your hirelings, what you do is when you make a business, you want people to duplicate the management team. All right, and now Yahawashi is the owner. All right, so when he makes his managers, he wants to duplicate himself. So he puts his laws, his ways, his actions, and he implements that within the business so the business can grow. Because when you make a business, you want people within the business to be mere reflections of yourself. And that's part of that investment. All right. And the act of building a business is duplicating yourself. And that's what Yahawashi had done. And that's since we're those mirror images of Yahawashi, and those fruits that come in, those brothers that come in on the other side, as we're teaching, making examples within ourselves, we're those that we're created, we're duplicating ourselves too, because it ain't ourselves that's being duplicated. I should word it like this: it's Yahawashi that's being duplicated. All right. So hey, again, as you pour that mold into that image of that being, and after it dries, you pull it out, and that mold is shaped just like what was cut into that pattern. That's how it is with Yahawashi, man. You know? So yeah, through the spirit, we're those spiritual investors. I'm sorry, Yahawashi is that spiritual investor, and we're those spiritual investments, man. And since he invested in us, man, whatever hell that we're going through, whatever hell that we're catching, tribulation, whatever the case is, know that Yahawashi knows you by name. So if Yahawashi knows you by name, he invested in you for a reason. He didn't invest in you so that you'll give up and you'll buckle through the spirit. No, he knows through the spirit that you'll be able to flourish and continue to call on his name and build the spiritual business. That's what he invested in you for. He sees something in you, man. Yahawashi sees something in you. Don't give a dang if you're doing videos and you're only getting one view. You know? He don't care about that. That's the reason why, hey, the scripture says in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, it says, prophesy to the window, son of man. All right. So if you catching hell and you only getting one view in your video or whatever, or only got 2 subscribers or 10 or 68, whatever the case is, man, it don't matter. All right. Yahawashi sees your good works, and keep those good works. Don't let it stop. Let it continue. And within having that faith, you'll abound within the spirit, and you'll continue to abound and continue to grow, and your fruits will increase. You just have to have faith and believe, man. Have faith and believe that you'll be able to go through these things that's here, that's written, man. You know? So I'm going to end the lesson on that. Lord willing, it's edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings. Salutation to the elect men, kicking this word of sincerity and in truth. Shalom.